I take the active money and I put it in the passive. So let me be clear. Real estate won't make you rich. That shit will make you wealthy. Yeah, you come in here whenever you. What do you want to learn the most?
How to find the deals.
Got it.
That's the main thing, because everything else in terms of like calling and stuff, as long as I have the right script or whatever, I could.
How aggressive do you want to get?
Bro, I wanted a deal 6 months ago.
Okay.
So
What are you? All right, cool. So this is good. So what do you want? What are you looking for when you're searching for these properties? What's your ideal property? Or
okay, so generally my main thing was I was gonna look for multifamily, 20 units or more.
Okay.
That needs, obviously I could get under market value, needs.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
So yeah, man, let me show you around real quick.
Yeah.
So this is our office. What this office mainly does is wholesale property. I mean, to be honest with you, it's pretty damn simple. Sherrod, you got a business down at ATL, right? Yeah. So Sherrod does like mental health care facilities, and you got daycare too, don't you?
2 of them.
Yeah. So for the same reasons, both of y'all are successful in what you guys do, and then identify that real estate's a necessary wealth building tool.
It's security, man.
Yeah.
Right now I ain't got nothing. I feel like you yank whatever I'm doing right under me. That's it. I gotta start over.
Yeah, and I even have some of those fears sometimes. Like I know I have a long runway and I have cash, but maybe like your business is, I believe is probably more secure. I don't know if you have like government contracts or whatever that may be.
Well, I mean, it's yay and nay. You just don't know. You still depend on the government.
Yeah. So then one day somebody can make a phone call and it change.
For example, I was just sitting there. Just like my director from my Virginia location said. So we have a service called TDT, which is therapeutic day treatment, and we have intensive in-home.
You need something, Francis?
Oh, I was just checking the dog was here.
So both cater to kids. So, the day treatment is where they come during the day, and the intensive in-home is when they're at home. So she just called me and said, hey, man, the state said they're not willing to pay for both services.
So
But in essence, the child needs both, right? He's in the school, and day treatment, there's some kids don't even go to school right now. So
yeah.
They need that, but that's money.
Drop, right, chop, boom. Yeah, so there's still the dependency. I mean, for me, I feel like every day I start brand new, I start fresh. Yeah. Like even though I have some long tail revenue coming in, I still don't feel like, what I'm saying, like I own Amazon or like, like I'm good. Like a lot has to go bad for me. So for me, real estate, I do make active income with flipping properties and shit like that, but for me, real estate is really a wealth building downhill principle, right? So it's one of those things that we just gotta do it. It's like we gotta buy this building. Now you could get cash flow, you can get temporary, but more likely it's not for you. It's for the next generation, your kids. You know what I'm saying? So that when they have 30 years down the road, they got something that's free and clear, worth $2 million, $10 million worth of properties, and they have this cushion that really was never afforded to us. What we was talking about yesterday, and I know your story too, so I know it's true for you too, that it's funny that money is supposed to, and families are supposed to run downhill. Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, when we get money, it's got to go back up first and take care of the parents. Mm-hmm. And that takes away from the future generations, because now I'm spending money taking care of what was supposed to be come down to me. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to hyperly, aggressively prepare for the next generation and expand, and not only the tax benefits of owning properties is just crazy. Do you own any of the land that your facilities is on? No. Yeah, so we gotta start changing that too. And that will tremendously help your business out in a lot of reasons. And you already got a proven track record. Like any bank is gonna give you the money to do what you own the facility you in. It just makes sense to own the land, and that's one of my,
The crazy thing about it, I had the opportunity to do it, and I just didn't do it.
yeah. And a lot of it's like knowledge. You be like, when am I on this bill? You don't know what you don't know. So like, Daryl, he's very adamant. Like, yo, I'm not putting my business in any building I don't own, because I believe in my business and I know what it's gonna do for the community. So I'm only helping somebody else join out. I think one of the things we have to do is we got to understand how banks work too. We've always been told a bank is a high and mighty thing and they got to approve you for this and approve you for that, bro. They're a storefront to sell money. That's all they are. And they have to sell it or they go out of business, right? So one tip that my mentor said, but we both got one of the same mentors, is that he says, and he's a co-founder of a bank, he says you need to be dating 3 bankers at all times. And what that means is every quarter you need to be going to a lunch with the banker, even if you don't need money. Because loans are not based on credit when you get to a certain stage. It means nothing. It's not your credit, right? It's when the loan officer knows you and knows that you have an established business and he's willing to go out to the loan committee and say, yo, this guy's legit. Look what he's doing. His business is straight. He needs $250,000, $400,000, $500,000 to buy this building. He's got 20%. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't care about your credit because they say you could explain everything bad on your credit. Do you have a great job making all the money in the world and you don't want to make any more? Well, this video is not for you. If you've completely given up on life and accepted defeat, well, this video is not for you either. If you haven't learned anything in the last 12 months, one thing for sure is nothing is certain. Most of you have already lost your job. You're probably at home waiting on another round of stimulus while the 1% is completely unaffected by what's going on.
Crazy thing is, I used to work in a call center, making $10 an hour.
And I was 30 years old when I had to move back home with my mom. Now you're probably thinking, what type of get-rich-quick scheme do these two guys have?
Most of you think you need to be a real estate agent to invest in real estate.
Or they're probably saying something like, I don't even have the money to invest in real estate. Why am I still watching this video?
Look, we gotta head over to a meeting. However, go to maxandnas.com. Register for the free webinar where we will show you exactly how we created 7-figure real estate businesses. See you at the webinar.
So when we start moving like the way we're moving, we gotta understand how to move in certain areas. Like, you ever heard of the pizza franchise Slim and Husky? So it's like a black-owned pizza franchise, right? I think they got a location in Atlanta. Well, Daryl Freeman has helped them do it, and they understand the principle now is when they move into a market, they buy the real estate before they make the announcement that they come into a new market. Because what happens is they're gonna put their joint on the corner of Martin Luther King and whatever. And the moment that they build a facility right there, they restaurant, the property starts to change. The areas around start to change. So what happens is they need to go in now and start buying shit in that area. You buy the building you're gonna be in and a couple places around, then you make the announcement. So it's just that we gotta understand it's good to gentrify, but we gotta gentrify our own hood. And we gotta get that ownership.
So how you feel about today's market, though? Like right now, coronavirus and everything like that? Does it affect anything?
No, it doesn't. So you gotta understand, so I don't buy based upon, so I'll make money on the way up and I'm gonna make money on the way down. And simply what that means is if the market's doing real well like it's doing right now, believe it or not, the market is crazy. I'm gonna be flipping properties. Yeah, but the thing about what we do is I don't never buy nothing for sale. So I don't care what the market says. You know what I'm saying? I'm going after people with problems. And we all know people going through some shit. So the main principle about real estate is that they teach you is like, get a realtor, go find a property, blah, blah, no, bro. There's people out here every single day that default on their shit that's got because life happens. Nobody can stop life, right? People die, people get married, people get born, like you lose jobs, you get unhealthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, and these are all triggers that trigger things for you to sell your property. And all I want to do is find a distressed situation where I can help. I took you to a property yesterday. Subject to. Let me show you. Do you know what subject to is? Like, it's one of the dopest concepts, bro. It's like a crazy. So there was this house. Matter of fact, let me pull up the file so I'm talking straight facts. So it's a house I bought, right? Big house, probably like 4,000 square feet, top and bottom, right? So anyway, so a lady named called the office. She was behind on her payments, couldn't afford the property.
She called y'all.
Yeah, she called us from some type of marketing, like we sent out something. So she had 2 loans on there, one for 109, one for 117. So say 110, so 130, right? 128.8 is what, and so 128 was her loan balance on 2 loans. I put 0 down as due diligence, 0 due at closing. She walked away with nothing. I think I may have threw her like $2,000 on the side. I think I told you that, right? And I took over $128,000 worth of loans. Now, when I say took over, I just went to her and said, I'm gonna pay them. I'm not gonna get it in my name. I'm not going to the bank. I'm gonna pay them joints. So it says seller has until January to give 100% possession of the property. So I bought it, let her stay in there for a little bit, and then, so let me see here.
So when you say you're not gonna get a loan, like you're just gonna take it over, like
I'm just gonna pay him.
Everything's gonna come to you now.
Yeah, so I make the payments on the house, right?
But your name is not on there.
My name is not on the loan, but it's on the deed.
Gotcha.
So now when we went to closing, my company owns the property, but she owns the deed. She owns the debt.
Mm-hmm. So that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, because I imagine, like, so there's a difference between a title and a deed. Because I imagine, like, say for example, you get a mortgage. Say this lady bought a house, get a mortgage. She has deed in her name, but technically the bank or the lender still owns like the actual title to the property.
Yeah, there's a lien.
Okay,
They,
there's a lien.
they don't own it. You, the owner, you're still the homeowner. Somebody just has a lien against it.
Okay, lien. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now in this situation where she's able to transfer the deed to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
but she's still, like, you don't deal with the lender at all. They don't know what's happening.
They ain't got no idea. And we put the property in a trust. So the property goes into a trust, and they can't. So there is this thing called a due on sale clause. And I'm about to pull up the.
So then what happens with, like, how do you get to pay off the debt if you're not dealing with her lender or anything like that?
I just go in here and I pay it, make the payments.
Oh.
So the balance on the house is $104,000 now.
And so you just make payments.
That's it. I got 278 payments left.
Now, when does a deed become officially transferred?
It's already transferred.
So the moment she signs,
The moment it's recorded. I showed you the recorded deed.
wow, this is,
So I own this property.
So basically, so now you're renting it out now.
No, so what I'm about to. So let me pull up.
this is crazy. I feel like I'm just my brain is just clicking to everything you've been talking.
So I'm gonna show y'all, just so y'all, like, let me see, 25, 30, Lake.
Crazy, man.
So I just want to show you, like, what the value of the house is.
But you
Look at the value of the house.
wow, it's double, man.
You see, I bought it for 127. That thing was at 128 down there, bought in 2019. So what we're doing now is,
Sorry, so it like it would be a public record when it's so, like, whenever you bought it, it becomes a public record.
yeah, because we're a disclosure state. So anything that gets sold, the price is told and everything on there. So when I bought it, it was, the value probably was, I don't know if it don't even matter, but I knew it was worth way more than.
This is crazy.
I knew it was worth way more. So basically, I took $0. I paid the back amount. I think I paid between $8,000 and $10,000 to catch the mortgage up. So what happens is, my paralegal. So what you do is you get a payoff quote, right? And so you get a payoff quote, and then you get look at a 4.75 interest rate. I mean, that's free money, bro. let me see. There's a payoff, and then there's a reinstatement. So when a house goes into foreclosure, there's two things you ask for. I need a payoff and a reinstatement. Reinstatement is how much money do I got to give you to get this thing current and we good. I think hers was between 8 and 10. I gave the bank the 10,000 at closing.
Did she give you that information, or you have?
Yeah. So right here, so she comes in, she signs an authorization to release. Right, she signs it. She puts all her information on there, and we now can go to the bank. My paralegal could call the bank, and now act on the behalf of the client. And we say, hey, look, we need a payoff for this one. So this is called subject to. So.
But how did you? But you just randomly found this person.
So no.
He said through the marketing.
Through.
And they just called you up like, hey, I need help.
So the reason why I do marketing is because I have this big operation, right? I got 19 employees across, several companies that I have to have a volume of business in order to keep flow. Y'all don't gotta have that. Y'all can do one deal every 2 months. You know what I mean? Because you don't need to do 10, 12 deals a month like me, or 20 deals a month like me to keep your thing going.
Right. And I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
This is my space.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So this is where you know where marketing is. You know how that works. So essentially, what we do is we identify people in stressful situations. And be honest with you, y'all could probably just talk to people. What we do is we identify. We go out and we say, okay, who's getting a divorce, who's in financial stress, and for y'all, it's mainly conversations. Like, yo, you just say, yo, if you know anybody trying to sell a crib or some land, bro, let me know, man. I think I'm gonna buy some property coming up. That's it. And everybody you talk to, and we always on the phone all the time. Everybody you talk to, you tell them that. And then you'd be surprised, but yo, I think my man Rod said he was gonna buy some stuff.
I definitely.
Yo, Rob, my man said his auntie left him a house. You run the numbers on it. I deal with people who got problems, and I try to fix their problems. This lady was behind on her mortgage. She had this house for a long time when she had kids. It's 4,000 square feet. She ain't got no kids no more. As in, they ain't living with her. She got this big old house. She don't want it no more. She happy going to an apartment at this point. Like, the house is in disrepair. She got it cluttered with shit. It's a headache for her. She behind, it's a mess, and she can't afford to fix anything. So to me, it's an opportunity. For her, it's a reliever that, yo, finally, I don't got to go through a foreclosure. This man gonna take over my mortgage, pay it every month, and he gonna give me some money to go get an apartment.
Let me ask you this: when these deals come, is it all over the country or is it just this region?
You can go all over the country, but I like them right here in the Triad.
Oh, you just do it right here in Triad.
Question though. So in this situation, you're locked in. Deed is in your company's name. Mm-hmm. Can you now? And I saw the house; it's been fixed up, mm-hmm. and so I imagine the value will go with that, right? So once it's fixed up and you put a tenant in there, can you now go to the bank with the deed that you have and pull some money out of it?
Yeah, but what you're gonna do is that company's gonna run first position, right? So a $300,000 house, and there's, I think, what did they say the balance was?
128.
Nah, that was when I bought it.
107.
104 or something like that.
Yeah, so I think the balance is like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, can they
104.
give you some money from equity on it? Like, can you pull some money out?
Yeah, but
you say, okay, I've spent $30,000 to get all this stuff.
Absolutely. The answer is yes. Now, the bank is not going to want to sit number 2, right? But on a.
Oh, I see what you're.
Yeah.
There's already a.
Yeah. So since there's somebody in position number 1, lien hold number 1 at 104, the bank will. You would go to the bank and say.
Well, they pay it off.
Exactly.
I did that.
Exactly. So yeah. So what I'm saying
That's
is.
what I'm asking.
So it's a refi.
Right.
A cash out refi. So I would go to the bank if I wanted to deal with banks. I would go to the bank and I would say, "Yo, I got a house. It's worth $300,000. I only owe 105 on it. I want to pull some money out. I want to pull 30,000 out."
So they pay this off.
They pay this off and give you the 30,000 extra. Now you got a new payment. And the way
that's where my brain is going. Sorry, it's like if I went through with this, right, and I go through the whole thing, I fix it up, whatever. I'm pulling the money out.
So you go do it again.
That way I go do the next deal.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to take money out of my pocket.
Correct. That's called a burr strategy at the same time.
That's burr.
Yeah.
I just never saw it this way.
Yeah, the burr that most people have is you got to buy the whole joint outright.
Right.
This way you ain't got to do that. I bought a property the other day for $15,000, bro. What's the address on that shit?
And so all the deals are here in Triad. 20 deals a month.
All right here.
Tough.
All right here.
So you don't go through the banks.
I don't even own a bank. I don't have no bank loans. The only thing I have that bank is a credit card. I don't have a car loan. I don't have a credit.
That's crazy.
None of that, bro.
So how do you funnel everything? Just straight cash?
Now, because I do have a brand that makes me quite a bit of money, I take the active money and I put it in the passive. So let me be clear. Real estate won't make you rich.
Yeah.
That shit will make you wealthy, right? So unless you're just doing massive amounts of flips, you know, you can make money flipping, but that's a high tax bracket event, right? The capital gains, short-term capital gains is crazy, but you can take the property, you can take that money and put into passive incomes.
That's the strategy for
So when you say because of your brand, but what is the brand?
So like, you know, I get speaking fees, my YouTube, I have software companies that I own, so I take that active money. So for you, your active money would be your healthcare money, right? So you take your healthcare money, you say, yo, because, bro, you and I know we only need but so much money to live off and live good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what do you do with all this extra money? Well, you go buy performing assets. You go buy, like we buying a meat market coming up.
Crazy.
So, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I now have the deed to the property. He can put a lien against it as a lien holder, but I got equal payments for $2,000 a month on a meat market on the south side of town that I can go in there. Now that I own it, I'm gonna go in there and put another 50 grand in renovations, make it into something nice, put my own business in it. You know what I mean? It's a win-win-win-win-win. But real estate's the key, basically what I'm trying to get to.
So you take some of the funds from the other businesses to buy.
100%, because it's the best tax thing you can do.
Yeah, and that was going to be my question. There's the tax benefit too, that actually correlates with your brand. So it's like, okay, real estate is an expense. You get tax benefit here, and then you can always circle that back into your
Yeah, bro.
No lines of credit or anything.
I didn't have to, right? Because my first year out the gate, I made like $3 million, right? And I didn't have to live off any of that. I didn't need any of that money. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I don't think so.
Yeah, like just the
Probably just a plain old napkin would have worked, right?
yeah. Because then you would put it out, I was like, what are you trying to do?
Let's just say you got a rental property and you paid $100,000 for it. Purchase price. And then that same rental property is bringing you in rent at $1,000 a month, right? And so over the course of the year, you're gonna get, easy number, $12,000, right? But each property, and let's just say this is the value of the building, the land is probably worth 20 more, right? So anyways, so now from this, you can start to deduct what they call depreciate the things on the property. So not the land, but let's just say you put new bushes, concrete, windows, carpet, right? So these deductions, let's just say they equal $3,600. So that property, even though the value goes up, you know, between 3 and 5% a year, you get to take a loss on the property of $3,600, right? So you have this phantom. So for every property like this, you get to go on your damn tax sheet and put negative $3,600, right? But you got real money that came in over here. So you got real money that came in. So, all right, so, yeah. So now your total, because you get to write this off, right? So you do this times 10 properties. You got $36,000 worth of write-off. You do it at 100 properties, $360,000 worth. You see what I'm saying? So you're able to do that, and you do the same thing over here. $120,000 in rent, plus the $36,000 in deductions.
That's really how much you make.
Yeah, this is crazy. So you get to say, hey, I lost money on this property this year because of your deductions, but then you actually put real money in your pocket. So there's 3 types of tax brackets.
And that takes like paint and everything,
Anything.
And it could be more than 36.
Exactly.
You got you.
So you have.
But it does have to be within a percentage, right?
Yeah. So you take the things and you rapid depreciate it. I think in over 12 years. The standard is 36 and a half, I believe.
So you divide that with.
Yeah, but they have this hyper depreciation, which most people do, and my mentor could break it down even way further. Yeah. So like, you got 3 tax bracket, right? You got W-2, self, and passive. W-2, you tax at whatever rate. This is the highest. So as entrepreneurs, we get taxed the highest bracket there is available to humans. The least is on passive income. So rental, passive income. Like investments you get where you get dividends, passive. Right? So everybody always tries to move over here as fast as possible. Most people people that are smart be trying to get over here. A lot of people stay over here, and then us that go getters go over here and get. We might make, $1 million, and we owe $450 in taxes. You might profit $1 million and owe $450,000 at the end of the year. That shit hurt. So they have this deductions, and they say, yo, you got $24 million in deductions this year. So guess what you can do? You can go out and make $24 million of active income and never pay a dime in taxes. So that's what this offset thing that people be trying to do. So when they like, yo, most people make their money through real estate. It's a reason why every rich person has money in real estate. The tax benefits is just crazy. Taxes is your number one expenses you're gonna ever pay as a human. Period. As a business owner, it's even worse. So the whole idea is that every business you own, you need to own the property, and you need to get involved into multifamily. Multifamily is real good for a lot of reasons, but when I say multifamily, it could just be a 4-plex. You know what I mean? Like it could be like a 10 unit, a 20 unit. It's nothing crazy. So initially, 173 bought the deal. We pay him $27.58 a month, right? So $2,758 a month, and we went into the deal making this each month. And what happened is, so we did $173,000 down, a 20-year amortization, which means the payments are spread out over 20 years, but a 5-year balloon. So we have 5 years to go get institutional financing to refi out of this deal to pay him off.
Okay.
But the reason why you do that is because in those 5 years, you establish rents, you improve the property, you get rents higher, and then now your NOI is real high. And then you go to the bank and you get it like a non-recourse. Or in 5 years you sell it. 4 years you sell it because you've done all this work to get it higher. So now you picked it up at $674, but you sell it at $1 million. So you eat the cash flow for 4 or 5 years, improve the building, and then now you put it back on the market with the improved rents. What's your goals in real estate? You even know?
My goals is getting one under my belt.
And
just being able to flip or rent.
okay.
I just want to do it. So my guy told me, correct me if it's true or not. He was like, go in, buy the crib at cash. Let's say you buy the crib at cash for $100. You rent it, and it's worth, I guess, $150. You rent it out, get somebody to rent it out. Then you pull the money from the bank or something like that.
That's called a BRRRR strategy.
Get the money back as long as you got a tenant in there, and that doesn't count on your debt to income ratio. So to show the tenant, you just go do that whole thing over again.
Yeah.
$50,000.
That's a slow process to do that, and so they're right. It's called a BRRRR. It's called buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. So you buy the property cash, you renovate it, you rent it out, then you go back to the bank. So some banks require a 90-day seasoning period where you've owned it for 90 days and you had a tenant in it. Some banks don't require it at all. And then you go in there and you refi. So on a house that's worth $150, they're gonna be able to give you, most people say 80%, right? So 150 times 80%, 120. So you're gonna walk away with 120. But you already put 100 in it. You may have put more in it so the deal's got to be even better. Like you got to pick up like an $80,000 house that's worth 150. Like we do that. That's normal for us. That's normal as hell for us. Like so, but that's if you need.
That's when but you go back to the bank and do that.
You go back to the bank, but eventually at around 4 or 5, the bank gonna say,
Yep. That's you gonna run into.
"Yo, you chill, bro. What are you doing? You're doing too much."
Right.
And now
you do about 4 or 5.
Yeah, they gonna be like, so people that speak from that experience never have done that. Like it's not 2007, 2008 no more. Like when you can just go in there and just get that no doc loan to keep you running. So you got to find the other strategies where you don't got to deal with the bank, where you do, you know what I'm saying? You put down 20,000 and go do owner finance with somebody, put a tenant in it, and you pay the guy.
So the deed basically is what gives you ownership.
Yes.
But if you don't pay him or if you miss payments, he can
Soak in the bank. Same shit. He's the bank.
When you have the deed, you take ownership. It means you can do whatever you want without the permission of.
Yeah.
Of
Same.
legal.
It's the same as the bank.
Okay. Gotcha.
But how does that build wealth when you don't really actually own it?
You same when you got the bank loan on, you don't own it.
Well, you could do like I've refied my properties.
See, like you gotta understand, like my parents and a lot of black people's parents, they never really owned the property then, right? So if you look at life in just like simple home ownership, like if our grandparents owned the house that they lived in, and then our parents owned the house that they lived in, and they owned it this whole time. So my mom's 60, my grandma would be 90, right? So 90 years of home ownership. That's 3 30-year cycles. So that means the house would typically could have been paid off 3 times, and every time that it gets some equity, they can pull it out. So you got 2 generations, 3 life cycles of equity being paid off. In 90 years, how much does a property go up?
A lot.
In 30 years, and now in 10 years. So when your ass wanted to go to college, all mom had to do was go to the bank, get a refi, pay for your college at an interest rate at 3%. Buying houses is better than not doing anything.
Yep.
Right? So when you sit back and be like, yo, I only want duplexes or I only want fourplexes, and then 4 years pass by and you got 1 duplex. So what you want to get your feet? What do you want to do? You want to flip something or you want to hold something?
I like that BRRRR, that idea.
The BRRRR. So you got a good relationship with your bank?
No.
So you got to start dating a banker, and that's just literally talking to them and again, I can find you a property. Where you want it, in Greensboro? Where you want it?
Here
In
or
Winston?
in
Okay.
Charlotte.
Charlotte's hard now.
Charlotte's hard.
Yeah, Charlotte hard because that place is New Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's moving to Charlotte. So Charlotte, you're gonna need way more money in Charlotte. Down here is different, right? So I'll give you an example. We bought a house for $48,000. We just bought it like a month ago, and we did like 12 grand worth of work. Is Francis over there? No. So we did like $12,000 worth of work, and we sold it for 115.
So flip.
Now, what you could have
How
done,
long it took to do that?
3 weeks, because I got my own crew. Yeah, I got my own crew.
So flip it to buy it and flip it. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
That's if you have your own crew.
Yeah, I got my own crew.
If you don't got construction.
Yeah, we've been doing this so long, we've been able to keep our own crew running, and that's good. So we own a construction company, commercial unlimited.
With my crew, man.
Yeah. So it was.
Like, yo, Max, I got this, man. Come through.
So having my own crew makes things a lot easier. So, but you know, just having these going out and getting these properties, I could have kept that one, but it was. So there's a balance, right? So sometimes I'll look at myself, like they'll call me, be a Monday morning meeting, and they'll be like, hey, we got all these properties. Well, which ones you want to keep? I'll be like, oh, let me get these 2. And I'll pick out the 2 best ones that I like, and I'll figure out if I'm going to keep them, rehab them, or whatever the hell. I got rental properties. I bought a rental property on Main Street. I paid 38 grand for it. The tenants pay $750 a month. The house is easily worth 75. So all I did was I took.
How do I find the property though, Max? Like, so I guess some properties you don't want to take. They hate it. Like I for you.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to deals regardless. Like there's so many deals I can't.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, so many.
So it's crazy. So I flipped this house across the street right here. I made about $30,000 flipping this house. So let me pull these up because. So I flipped this house, right? So I bought it for 76. All right, in 2019 November, and I sold it for 138. Right. So just say I put like, 25 grand in the property. Right, and then so I made X amount of dollars. Then I come over here, and I bought the house across the street for $28,000. You see, $28,000. As soon as I sold that, I bought this one, worth 105. Okay, so that means I took $28,000, making $750 a month, right? So 28 grand.
Off the property you made, the profit you made from the last one.
Yeah, 750. So that means I took active money, took it in passive. So 750 times 12. So I make $9,000 a year on this property, right? I paid 28 for it, and then my net worth went up 75 grand. So I took $28,000 and turned it to 105. So now on paper, the 28 grand instantly turned into $105,000 on paper. So my net worth went up 105 grand, and I'm still getting $750 a month in rent. That's all day long. 28 grand? So I get it. It's like, yo, how do I find these? How do I find these? Tell people, it's like, yo, Rod, how you doing? I'm doing good, man. But I'm just trying to find another property to buy. Like, put it out there in the atmosphere. Yo, you know anybody trying to sell a property and I'm looking to buy like a rental house or something. Just that simple. Shoot me a DM or a comment, and people are gonna start hitting you up. Everybody knows somebody's going through some. But in the meantime, I will find a project where I'll be like, yo, Rod, you want this? Yeah. And I'm gonna walk you through it step by step so you can see it. And then, I'm gonna guarantee you this: by the end of the year, I'm gonna let you flip a property and I'm gonna let you buy a rental. Period. And that's guaranteed to do at least one of both. And then you can roll. And I can find you a property tomorrow.
I'm trying to do this at the end of the year. I'm trying to do it in a month.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'm just saying. So, yeah. But I want you to buy a rental property to it, and it's like this.
Yeah.
Because now this rental property is like, because when I got friends coming to town, I jump in the car. Yeah, I own that one. I own that one over there. Let's go over here. I own this one. Go to the pretty side of town. You see that big ass 4,000? I own that one. That one. That's just different, bro. And I know you got a son, and you just like that sight picture because my uncle did it to me at 16. He used to live in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and I used to go with him in the summer, and I used to help him clean up his rental houses and paint and do stuff. Like I was so excited to go do that stuff. But he would go down the street and be like, on that. He'd be like, matter of fact, let's park. Walk down the street, I own this house. Matter of fact, let's go check on Miss Mary. Knock on the door, how you doing? And that burned a sight picture in my head. I was like, yo, this is crazy. How does this man own so much property? And if I remember correctly, I think he owned 56 single family properties when I was 16.
In Kentucky.
in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Tough.
So you know what I'm saying? So like when you see that as a young kid, and then you see your parents, and you be like, okay, my mom owned one house, he owned 56. Okay, there's something ain't right, and you start to lean towards like, yo, how is this possible? And the curiosity just gets you there. So what I would tell you for sure is, you need to simply just tell people you're looking to buy a house. I'm gonna find you a house, but when those, reason why I want you to do it is because our circles are different. That when you get a phone call, I might can be like, yo, this is a slam dunk deal, let's move on this. And my team is actively always looking for deals. That's what we do. That's what everybody's up here is paid for.